When I worked in a shoe shop, my boss was called Mr. Clog. Remarkably, I've had 3 other jobs where my boss's name was directly related to their profession.
What?
The obvious question to ask is, what were those jobs and what were these people's names?
Yeah, it is an obvious question. Is it maybe too obvious a question? Maybe go somewhere else first, just...
I want to know about the first. Just tell us one of the jobs.
At school, I worked in a warehouse and the boss was called Mr. Foreman.
Mr. Foreman? OK. And what was your job? Getting stuff down from the top shelf,
Yeah.
obviously.
How would you rate Foreman as a boss? If he was suspicious, would he grill you?
Foreman? Yeah, listen. Very good.
Okay.
Why did you have so many jobs? Did you keep getting sacked?
No further questions.
What were the other 2 jobs?
Yeah, what was the other jobs?
I worked in... Do you remember the predecessor to Iceland, which was B-Jam?
Yeah.
My supervisor was called John Frost.
Frost, B-Jam. You can see why B-Jam didn't last, because people will go, why don't they just call it honey? Your final job was?
Well, it was my first ever job in television.
And that was?
It was a researcher on a computer games programme.
OK, and your boss was called?
My boss is called Tony Verrill.
What does Verrill mean?
That's
in relation to
what do you mean? It's a surname, but his initials were TV.
Of all these bosses that you remember, Richard, who would you say was your favourite boss? What was it about that boss that made them
Well,
so
John
adorable?
Frost wasn't really my boss, so I liked him. We had a bit more of a relationship. Mr. Foreman, I found that was quite stressful. This was one of my first ever jobs. And Tony Verrill still works in the industry, so I will not be passing comment.
Tony Verrill still works in the industry. I've never come across him.
Yeah, I've not come across Tony
Have you come
Verrill.
across him, David?
Yeah, I think I've worked with Tony. Sure, not 100%, but yeah.
Do you know who Tony Verrill is?
No.
Tony Verrill?
No, never heard of him.
It's weird that none of us 3 have heard of Tony Verrill, and yet all you 3 have heard of Tony Verrill.
Katherine
hasn't.
Katherine has or hasn't?
I haven't, but it rings a bell.
Oh, so you...
What do you think, truth or lie?
Truth or a lie?
Well, the thing is, I think you're almost certainly sort of geeky enough to keep a record of that sort of thing, and it's the type of thing that would amuse you. And you'd remember at the time. On the other hand, it's also the type of thing that you could quickly construct to be clever. It's a challenging one.
What do you think?
Lie?
Yes, I think so.
We'll have to say lie.
You say lie. OK.
Because of Tony Verrill.
Richard, truth or lie?
It is a lie.
Ah!